Hey friends, welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City a lovely place to live. I'm your host, Colin Johnson with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. We are selling some houses. It's a new year, and it's a beautiful day in Johnson City, and I am sitting with a lovely young lady named Stephanie Thiel with Honeybee Wildflowers, and I'm super excited for you guys to get to know her, learn about her business, come out and support her, and just get to know her a little bit because she seems just wonderful, and so I'm excited. So, Stephanie, thank you so much for coming out on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and so you reached out. Like sometimes I'm like, hey, will you be on my podcast? And people are like, yeah, maybe, send me the thing. But you were totally different. You said, hey, I want to be on there, and you filled out a little Google form. So if you're listening, there's a Google form in the show notes. You can go down and it says click on Be a Guest. I would love to meet you. I'd love to have you on the podcast. So click on the link below. But enough of that. We're going to meet Stephanie. So thanks for coming on. I'm excited. And your business is Honeybee Wildflowers. So do you sell honeybees and flowers that are wild, or how does this work? What's the story?
Just the flowers. Honeybee is my 1976 Volkswagen van. So
Awesome.
She is yellow, of course, which is where the name come from. It's a dream, really. I'm very blessed to be able to do what I love, and it's great. Who doesn't want to work with flowers and bring people happiness?
Now tell me about this van, because like I see these little Volkswagen vans running around, and I had a friend who had one, and I think he didn't have it long because he just couldn't. He wasn't adapt in fixing it, or couldn't find parts, couldn't do things. But tell me about Honeybee. When did you get her, and all about that?
All right. Well, everyone has a Volkswagen story, which is great.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it's always so different. But my grandfather was actually a Volkswagen mechanic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Decades ago, when they first started coming to the U.S., he worked in Brooklyn, and he worked really hard and took care of them and taught me how to take care of mine. So I've had her for a little bit now, and she's like my baby. She's so great. Gives me some trouble sometimes, but
Sure.
She's, from 1976, so sometimes things break down. We're all a little rusty. I can't blame her.
Yeah.
So I just do what I can to keep her running and take good care of her and have pride in her.
Yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait to see it. Now, as a young person, I was like, I want a Ferrari, but were you like, I want a Volkswagen van?
It wasn't always a van. I knew I liked Volkswagens.
Right.
And my mom had a little 67 Bug, and it was so cute. The floors were rotted out. We called it her Flintstone car.
Yes, I remember that.
But, I also have a Tesla, so I have the fast car and the slow car. It's a night and day situation.
Gotcha.
So it's the best of both worlds.
That is the best of both worlds. That's awesome. Okay, so Honeybee you're driving Honeybee around, and it's full of flowers. Is that how this works? And you sell flowers out of there, or do you have a storefront too? Or
no storefront right now,
okay.
Which is really big for me. I've looked into it, but I would have to raise my prices in order to afford the storefront. Sure. And I like to be, inexpensive, a good quality for lower prices, because I do a lot of weddings. Weddings are expensive.
Yes.
And I like to provide to people who maybe can't afford to spend thousands of dollars on flowers for a wedding. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I have a little studio that I built out back of my home. Well, I didn't build it all the way.
Yeah.
It came framed up, but I, did what I could. Yeah, and insulated it, all of that. And I work out of there, but I take my van around with all my flowers, and we do pop-up shops all over Johnson City and Kingsport, really wherever. I go where the people want me. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So how did you, so you said, one, I'm going to go back because Johnson City Living. You live in Johnson City, I
yes,
take
I do.
it. Whereabouts? Are you in North Johnson City? So where are you at?
Right by UTSU, right off Cherokee Road.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we love it here. It's a beautiful place to live. So thankful every day to wake up and see the mountains. I took a picture just today, the sunrise over the mountains. The sky was beautiful.
So pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't beat it.
It really is awesome.
And we were talking earlier about how great it is to be like in a nice little downtown and then be able to go on a hike and just seeing everything. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. So besides mountains and hiking, what else do you love about Johnson City?
The people are so kind. I truly appreciate everyone here. Yeah. They are so welcoming and always smile and always cordial to each other. It's not like that everywhere, and it's hard to remember that sometimes. You get so used to the comfort here, and you go other places, and you're like, wow, not everybody is always kind. So it's
kind of crazy, isn't it?
It is, but it's something to be grateful for.
How long have you been in Johnson City?
2 years now.
Okay. And then where did you move from?
Right outside Philadelphia.
Okay.
So very different.
Is this where Stephanie was born and outside of Philadelphia, or what's your story? I
was born and raised in New York. My father worked in the World Trade Centers. And
wow.
He was okay.
That's good.
Thank God. There's a lot there, but that moved us away from there and to Pennsylvania. And I tell this story a lot, but I was sitting on the street just eating breakfast one day in Philly, minding my business, and I look across the street to the Starbucks, and this man pulls the trash can off the ground that's bolted to the ground, throws it through the window, and sets a little lit matchbook through the window. And right then and there, I said, it's time to move. I don't want to be here. This isn't like a family-friendly place.
That's nuts.
So I looked up the lowest crime rates. Johnson City came up, and here I am.
That's right. If you're a criminal and you're listening, stay away. We don't want you here. We want to keep our record.
Yes, absolutely. So the best thing I ever did, best decision I ever made, and I'm so happy to be here. Now,
have you always been an adventurer? That's pretty bold, right? I'm just going to move away. Honeybee and I are hitting the road.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big-time adventurer. One day in Pennsylvania, I drove 3 hours to go to Gettysburg because I thought it'd be cool to learn some history one day. I mean, it's just fun to do, and it's, like we were saying earlier, to learn new things each day is so special, and you never know where that'll be.
Yeah, I agree. So where did you come up with your affinity for flowers?
I'm actually a third-generation florist, so it's almost in my blood. Almost fourth. My great-grandmother did it in a non-official capacity, but my mom had a flower shop in New York and in Pennsylvania. She's
in New York City proper, kind of?
Yes, she actually did flowers for Rosie O'Donnell, Regis Philbin. She's done a lot of big-time things, and
that's fun.
I grew up there, in the background in the studio and just watching her and learning and appreciating her. And
just the smell of a flower shop. Oh.
So wonderful. It's intoxicating, truly.
It really is. My grandparents owned 3 or 4 flower shops in Memphis. And nice. Every time we'd go down there to see them, we'd work in the flower shop some, and we'd deliver stuff around the holidays because it got really busy and they needed extra drivers. And so I'd be a runner. I'd run and jump and drop stuff off. And it's a big, hard business.
It's a lot. It's involved. It
is. And you've got perishable items. So you're it's kind of like a grocery store a little bit. You've got inventory you got to manage. And I don't think as a kid I was just oh, yeah, you're selling flowers. No big deal.
Oh, yeah.
But now, looking back, I'm wow, that's pretty impressive.
Well, and I also grow my own flowers here during the on season in spring, summer, fall. So that adds a whole nother element to it.
Yeah.
But I do that right here in Johnson City. I have, just a little half acre with my greenhouse, and it's wonderful. It's hard work, but it keeps me grounded.
So that's fun. Did you always have a horticulture-y kind of, design for your life? Did you want to do this?
I actually, as a kid, told my mom I would never own a flower shop.
That was the problem. Watch out. Never say never, they say.
She always had me sweeping up, cleaning buckets, teaching me the value of hard work, and I hated it as a kid. Yes. But now I'm so thankful she did that, and I tell her every day how much, I learned from her, and I wouldn't be where I am now without her and my dad. So.
Yeah, obviously they've launched you unbelievably well. Does she still have a florist shop going?
No, they're both retired now. They're both they're 67 and 70, and they're just living their best retired life. So
that's good.
She's like, I'll help you for Valentine's Day. I said, I'm gonna take you up on that.
Yeah,
I'm
real.
I'm the roles are reversed. I was at her shop helping. Right. Now she's
you can
here.
Help sweep up, deliver stuff.
That'd
be great. That'd be great.
So it's funny how the times change.
Yeah. Would they ever retire here, you think?
I think they'll go to Florida. I have a brother and a sister both in Florida, so they're looking at properties there. So
okay.
We'll see. You never know, but she visits me here, and I know she's in love with the mountains. She just won't admit it yet.
and we have a lot of people listening that are moving from Florida because it's we want all 4 seasons, and it's just hot down here all the time.
Exactly. So. Yes, I couldn't.
I know. For Christmas, we had snow this year, which was awesome. So
beautiful.
Like a white Christmas. It wasn't super white, but it was white. And so we had a white Christmas. And then in the summer, it's 90, and it's fantastic. So we get all 4 seasons, which is awesome.
Yes.
Tell the listeners some about your business, your flower shop. What do you said you do weddings, but what are some other things you love to do with flowers?
I just like to do everything. Obviously, weddings are great because it's so much happiness, but there's also something truly special about doing funeral pieces and honoring people, loved ones who have passed. And I really put a lot of heart and emotion into those because everybody knows, what that's like. And it's special to be able to put my, artistic ability into that for people. So I love to do that. I love to drive the van around and just let people create their own bouquets. I'll bring just a little flower tower and I'll set up, and I love to see what other people create. So some people will say, just do it for me, and I love doing that too.
Yeah, right.
It's always interesting to see other people's styles and what they come up with. I could have dozens of the same flowers and people can make 5 totally different things. Cool? Yeah, so it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, and then the flowers change, and if you're harvesting your own a lot, you're going to see different things all year long. And
yes.
So you can't get the same bouquet you did in May, in August, because it's not going to be around. So
exactly, and we like to keep it local. Anytime I can say that this was just locally sourced. I do. We try to cut down on plastic and everything like that. We try really hard to be intentional in everything we do.
That's cool. Now, are you propagating stuff too? Like you coming up things from seed?
Oh yeah, we are doing
from scratch.
We're doing eucalyptus from seed, amaranthus from seed, a few other things, and I do a lot of succulents, and we propagate those too. And I hold succulent classes at Tennessee Hills at the Bristillery.
Oh, that's cool.
Teach people how to keep all their plants alive. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, so if you don't have a green thumb, call Stephanie. She'll help you out.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Do you love the growing part more than the designing part, or what's your favorite part about the flower shop?
That's so tough. I truly enjoy it all. I think I like the designing the most.
Yeah.
And I offer something special. All of my customers will get a picture of the arrangement before I send it out. And it's always something, I always get nervous, like a teenager. I'm like, I hope they like it.
Yeah.
I've never had anyone not like it, but it's
right.
So, when you order things online or over the phone, it's really nice to see what you're actually getting. And people are always so grateful and so happy. And I don't know, it's very rewarding. But also growing flowers, seeing them start from this teeny little seed and how they progress. They might come up and it looks red and then it blooms and it's like a beautiful deep purple. And it's so incredible to watch.
I am blown away that you can take a seed. It's just crazy how the Lord made stuff. So you can take seeds. I could give you one. You could hold on to it for 10 years if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, hey, there's some seeds Colin gave me. I'm going to put them in the ground. Not do anything else really. A little water. And then boom. You have this beautiful plant that comes up, or a tree that's 100 feet tall. I mean,
yes.
Just from this one little seed, it blows my mind. It's just it's beautiful to watch.
It really is. Just like the sunflower field that they put up on the side of where was that, on Roan Street?
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And actually, Pat Walding is the city horticulturist, and he did that.
Oh, nice. I wasn't sure who did that.
Yeah, I need to get him on here to talk to us about it a little bit, because I thought it was beautiful. Again.
It was.
And then everybody was out taking pictures out there with the flower, so.
Well, same at, what is the little family fun place? The Paradise Acres.
Yes.
They have anemones and all these different wildflowers during the seasons, and you can go there and play some mini golf and take some pictures, and that's really fun too. We
love the Paradise Acres. There are some really good friends of ours that run it. And we were actually watching a football game with them last night, and they're huge Georgia fans. And so I love what they do. And so, flowers are just really a special part of life, and it's just cool. So talk to listeners about, for me, I think of flowers occasionally. Carly, my wife, is a little more hyperallergenic, sensitive to them. So I don't bring them home often, but tell our listeners about some events or times where you would want to get somebody flowers. I mean, obviously, you said some holiday things and funerals, but what else? What are some other, tickle their memories for that? Well, one of my most popular categories on my website is in the doghouse. So that's a good one to remember. If you're in the doghouse, that's a good way to start your way back out. Been there, yep. Everybody has. So, and it's the little things. It's, for... That's great. It's a great category. People are like, hilarious. I am in the doghouse. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And just randomly bringing home flowers is the best. My grandfather never bought gifts for holidays, ever, but would always get random gifts throughout the year when he thought of us and his wife. And it was so beautiful, and it was just extra special because it wasn't because you felt like you needed to do it. It was because you wanted to.
Yeah.
And people love that, men and women. So, if you're thinking about someone, just pick them up something. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be outlandish. Just something that'll make them smile.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now talk about like price points. Like if you wanted to get out of the doghouse, obviously you can spend lots and lots of money to do that. But if you want to just, hey, I just thinking about you, want to get you some flowers, what would that run? Ballpark.
It really ranges, but I have eucalyptus shower bundles, which are so nice, and those are only $15. And I do free local delivery to Johnson City, which is because why not? I'm already here.
Right. You're in the van.
So yeah, exactly. So those are only $15, and then the arrangements start at $40, including delivery, and you get. You can get a little wrap bouquet, you can get something in a vase, really whatever you like. And I use all premium flowers. I don't really do like daisies or carnations unless people really want them. I do, roses, peonies, hydrangeas, dahlias. Dahlias are huge here. Everybody loves them.
They are beautiful.
They grow so well here in East Tennessee. Really, it's like the soil was made for them here. So it's I try to be affordable. I try to make it available to anyone.
Yeah, and I think at $40, I mean, that's a great deal, especially if you're delivering.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get a little card, you get a little bow, all the things.
You're out of the doghouse in a matter of hours.
Yeah, hopefully. You still got to put in a little of your own work, but
you do. Right. It's just not here and I'm out, but yes. Isn't it funny how we get in the doghouse sometimes?
Yes, you never know how it'll happen or when it'll happen.
I think it just keeps life interesting,
Absolutely.
If we're all good all the time, that's what Carly and I talk about. We like to argue a little bit. It keeps it interesting.
Absolutely. If you agreed on everything, it would be boring.
It would be boring. Yeah. And so I think it's good that we're different in those realms. What are some of the events that you have coming up that you're excited about? You want to share?
We have 2 really big events coming up because obviously we're going into Valentine's Day, which is chaotic for florists everywhere. And we are partnering with Blue Willow Bridal. They own what used to be Charlotte's Floral.
Okay.
So
and they're currently by ZZ Tops. We just walked by there the other day. Is that right?
Oh, yes, and they're everywhere. They're not leaving. They just bought that to turn it into a little micro venue. It's going to be called the Willow Room.
That's cool.
It's wonderful. So we are going to host a little Valentine's Day market there with all local vendors. I'll be there selling flowers. We'll have people selling jewelry, thrifted items, a lot of really awesome local vendors, and we'll be announcing the full lineup soon. But
that's cool.
That's going to be Friday, February 10th from 5 to 8. So a little nighttime market just to get you prepared for Valentine's.
Nice.
And then the following day, the 11th, I will be at Blues Brews. We're going to do a build your own mason jar bouquet for their happy hour, 5 to 7.
That's
cool. Yeah, so you can make up your own little arrangement to either for yourself or a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whoever you're thinking of.
Whoever you love, just come give them some flowers. That's awesome.
So it should be fun.
So you mentioned Valentine's Day, and it's probably like you said, it's the biggest day of the year for florists. Does it just drive you nuts that you got,
I love the chaos.
Yeah.
I thrive in the chaos.
Yeah. You're like, let's go, bring it on.
Well, I was very surprised during this past Christmas season. I was so busy. I'm so thankful for all of my customers. They really kicked my butt, and I wasn't expecting it. So I'm just doubling down for Valentine's, and we're just gonna power through it. We're gonna make some beautiful things, and it should be a really good time. So it's crazy, but it's fun, and it's all about love and happiness, so it makes it all worth it. And you see all the girls who are and boys who are getting their arrangements, and just how happy they are. Like, I love making deliveries too, because the look on people's face when you unexpectedly show up with flowers is priceless. Yeah, that is good. It's awesome. What's the future of Honeybee Flowers look like? Who knows, really? I mean, my goal one day is definitely to own my own venue where I offer full services, and I have, a curated team of people I trust who are vendors, and we can just provide a full service experience. But until then, I'm just here doing weddings. I already have a lot booked for this year, which I'm thankful for, and yeah, we're taking the van out. People rent that for their own birthday parties, bridal showers, photo shoots, all of that. I have a wonderful photographer friend. Her name's Olivia. She owns Trailing Jade Media, and she always helps me take great pictures and set up little photo shoots for couples, and it's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful thing.
You have a lot going on.
I do. I like to be busy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So, tell the listeners how they can help you. Like, one, obviously, get on her website and order some flowers, meet her. She's just wonderful. But yeah, how else can they connect with you too?
Well, thank you. I do have honeybeewildflowers.com. You can order from me, and just shoot me a follow on Instagram. Shoot all the small businesses a follow on Instagram, because it's such a wonderful way to support us for free. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do anything, but a few taps of your finger, and it means everything. And just seeing, being able to share your work with more people and get yourself out there, it's so great, really.
Yeah. I love, when I met you earlier before we started recording, you were like, I just love to support other local businesses. And so I think that's one thing Johnson City does really well, is we love each other and take good care of each other as small businesses. And so if you're a small business, reach out and follow Stephanie. She'll follow you right back, and then you guys are doing business. She's going to come get a cup of coffee from you, and you can buy flowers from her, and you can whatever. I mean, it's just the way the world works, I think.
It is.
People helping people.
Absolutely. And I have a lot of wonderful vendor friends, and we make trades. I've traded flowers for so many things, for coffee, for stained glass, for jewelry pieces, for
that's cool.
So many things. And it's so funny because we each always think that we're not giving enough to the other.
Oh, I got you. Right.
It's like we value...
It's not a fair trade. Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes we value other people's work over our own.
Sure.
Which is okay. But it's so beautiful to see, like, just the vendors getting together and sharing their work with everyone.
Yeah, that's fun. What's your handle on Instagram? I don't even know.
It's just Honeybee Wildflowers.
Okay.
You can't miss the big yellow Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, okay. I was able to get the name everywhere, even the .com, everything. So
perfect.
It works out sometimes.
Yeah, it does. It does. Well, we'll have a link for that in the show notes as well. So click on that and follow her. And it sounds like you don't have any time for hobbies, but what are some of your hobbies?
I play the keyboard. I play a lot of video games. So that's
what video games do you play?
I play a little bit of everything. I play Warzone. I play a little Fortnite. I play this game called High on Life. That's a new release.
That's cool.
Video games, board games, card games, all of it. I come from a very competitive family. I have 2 brothers and a sister, but the brothers are the
They're the
intense
ones that like trying to beat you all the time.
Yes, but they don't usually, but they try.
That's fun. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I don't play, but you may run into my sons online sometime playing Fortnite for sure, and some other stuff they're playing. So that's fun. I think that's a neat world too that I'm not a part of. I need to get somebody on here. I did have a guy who does Dungeons and Dragons on the podcast a few months ago. He was interesting, and but yeah, there's a whole nother world really out there. It's cool what you can do, and then our area is really supportive, and we have tons of people that do all that kind of stuff too. Have you been to Mulligan's Gaming Club?
Of course, yes, and they're wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. I think they're expanding in some way. They got like their beer license or something.
Yes.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to go check it out. What's something that I didn't ask you that you'd like to share? If there's anything we haven't talked about.
Not too much. I just, I always got to say how grateful I am for my parents. My mom was a florist too, and she taught me everything I know, and my grandma was also. So it's really a big blessing to be able to do what you love and learn from the people you love.
Yeah, and so when you're in that spot doing what you love, they say you don't really work a day ever, and
it's true.
It really is fun, and when you find your sweet spot. So I'd encourage people to find their sweet spot. If you're stuck in something that's just you're dragging yourself there, find something else to do, because life's too long to spend. And they say too short, but I think it's too long to stay miserable for too long.
Absolutely. I worked really hard as a bartender, long hours, late nights, and saved money. And I took a big leap of faith by just putting it all into my business. And it's terrifying and exciting, but very rewarding.
Yeah, because there is that tension there. So tell a little bit. I guess that was a great little thought there I'm going to hit on. you worked hard to put a nest egg away for your dream, right? And so talk to the listeners a little bit if they're, if you've got a dream you're thinking about doing or an itch kind of that won't go away, right? I think that's the Lord prompting you to do something or a calling that you have you need to follow through with. And so a lot of people, I think, put that on the back shelf, but you didn't. Yes. What did you do?
I worked hard, and all my friends called me a loser because I never went out. I never spent money. And obviously it's important to do things that you love. But if you have the ability to save your money and work towards a goal, absolutely do it. And it's very easy to fall into monotony and be like, well, I have this job. It's secure. I know what I'm going to make. And when you know and you're certain about an income, especially in this time, it's hard to want to stray from that.
Sure.
But there are always ways you can take little steps. I started bartending and then just doing wedding bouquets. And I just started inching my way closer and closer until I could achieve my goals, which I'm still working every day to be better and, to be a good person and a good business owner. And it never ends, but it's not going to start unless you take that leap of faith.
Agreed. Yeah. You got to work hard every day on yourself and have that learning mindset. I want to learn something new. We talked about that.
Yes.
Learn something new every day. My grandfather said 3 things a day would be good if you learn. And, so you have to push yourself though, because it's easy to get in the routine and and you do it and another day's gone by and another week and another year and you look back and you haven't done anything. You haven't grown. And so I think it's, if you're listening out there, push yourself this year. We're starting a new year. I was at the gym this morning. They said, new year, new gear. I hadn't heard that. And I was like, let's go. It's go time. So, so find your new gear and come see Stephanie and get some flowers this year. And Valentine's Day is coming up. So can you order now?
Oh, yes. You can pre-order on the website. We encourage that. And don't be afraid to talk to people and reach out to people to help you achieve your goals. I have met so many incredible people in the wedding industry, and you can always learn from people. No matter how much you think you know, you can learn something from everyone, and you just got to go for it.
You have to go for it. And I think fighting that fear again, one, to start your own business and entrepreneurial, but to fight the fear of just going to somebody and saying, hey, would you talk to me about flowers and running them out of a van. I'm thinking about doing it in, Greenville, South Carolina or somewhere, wherever. And it's amazing how many people want to help. I think we're built to help each other, love each other. And so I think it's beautiful. So, fight the fear.
Yes.
And get out there and get in contact with people. So
absolutely. Don't be afraid.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been a pleasure getting to meet you.
Yes, you as
well. And I'm excited that I can get out of the doghouse if I ever get in there again. Hopefully not, but hopefully, And if you're in the doghouse, call Stephanie. She'll get you right out. And then, Valentine's Day is coming up, so plan ahead for that. Plan ahead for all these events that are coming ahead, and support our local businesses because it really does make our city just awesome. And so thank you for supporting me and our business as we're selling houses this year. If you want to build wealth, we'd love to talk to you about how to do that through real estate as well. But just reach out to me. I'm here to help. Stephanie will help you if you reach out to her. We just would love to help you and continue to make Johnson City the best place in the world. So until next time, I'm Colin Johnson with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. Have a great day and go find your new gear. It's a new year.